You're watching another episode of Alba Travels, and right now I'm about to get in my kayak because the tide is rising and I'm about to float away. So I'm starting my journey by paddling out around North Lubec, and I'm headed out into the middle of Cobscook Bay on a nice calm day, although Cobscook is a Passamaquoddy word that means water that boils. And the first thing I want to check out while I'm out here is this island called Razor Island, or what's left of it. And it's called Razor Island because it has a very thin soil sort of bluff. But I'm particularly interested in checking out this island because it's changed a lot since the last time I was here 15 years ago. It's still the shape of a razor, but it's considerably thinner and shorter. It's eroded away to the point where only about half of the island that used to be here remains. When I came here 15 years ago, you couldn't see any of this exposed soil. It had grass all the way down. It was a little bit taller than this, and it came all the way down. And it was this even shape all the way along. But here, it started to collapse and crumble. So, like I say, about 50% of this island has disappeared. I think most of the erosion has happened from storms and possibly changing climate and the rise in sea level. But the birds also erode it slowly over time. On the other hand, the birds also add mass to the island by eating fish and then defecating that nutrition back onto the island. So check this out. We got rocks and sand down here, and here are layers of just sand, and this erosion, by the way, is mostly just air erosion down here, whereas what's happening at the base is actually the waves are chipping away at the island. But up here we have a layer of clay, and then on top of that layer of clay we have a layer of topsoil. And the topsoil might be 6 inches deep. There might be places where it's gone down deeper. And something like this, I would imagine it may be roots that are penetrating down into the clay and allowing that topsoil to get deeper. 15 years ago, I walked over the top of this island. It was consistent and grassy and very firm, and now it's falling apart and half of it has eroded away. If anybody has any photos from back then or older of this island, I'd love to see them. I do have some old satellite photos so you can kind of see what it looks like there. But now that I've noticed this island washing away, I thought I should at least start documenting it now and then come back in 5 years. And honestly, my guess is it's only got about 5 years left, but we'll see. I'll try to come back one day. So after Razor Island, I went farther south, down South Bay, and I saw some interesting geological features, what looked like geometric basalt crystals. And then I also stopped on a little island that was really just some rocks of ledge, and I saw some interesting birds there. And then I came to check out this little island. This island doesn't have a name, and I don't even see it on a lot of maps. If it does have a name, I haven't figured out what it is yet. There's a seal over there watching me. So I feel like even though I don't mind talking to a whole bunch of people on YouTube, it's really nerve-wracking to have a seal watching me while I'm talking on camera, but I'll get used to it. Okay, so yeah, this island has a lot of interesting things on it though, so I'll show you what's going on here. These are juniper berries, and then this is a giant ant nest, and there's some blueberries, a lot of blueberries on this island, and over there It's an eagle feather. Wow, this is great. I'm arriving at the destination. So I just landed here on this little foot on Long Island in South Bay, which is part of Cobscook Bay. Behind me you can see an island. But right now I'm just going to try to get unpacked from the kayak a little bit and find a spot to camp. Okay, so it's starting to get dark. The sun is setting over there. But I got all my stuff dragged up from the coast and camp out at this nice flat spot here. It's got some soft moss growing on it. Also, I put a couple ropes on my kayak, so hopefully the tide doesn't take it when it comes in the night. But I think it will be good, and what a view. I'm really excited to go out there tomorrow morning and see what happens, as long as my kayak doesn't swim away in the middle of the night. Hi, so good morning. It's my first morning here, camping out in South Bay of Cobscook Bay, and I slept really well. Wasn't too chilly yet. It'll get colder in the next month. It was a very calm night. As usual, I don't camp with a tent. I just lay out my tarp and sleeping bag. If it was going to rain, I would have put something over, but last night it was so nice that I was able to just sleep out here very, very peacefully. So today I'm going to go check out some other islands. I did walk around a little bit this morning and I saw some people... Oh, there's a squirrel. I saw some people harvesting periwinkles, which is a type of shellfish that looks like a small snail, and people can pick those off the rocks and then go sell them for a certain price a pound. I don't know if it's a $50 or $1 a pound, something like that. So I was just going for a walk through the woods and I found a wood frog. And I think wood frogs are really cool because they can freeze solid in the winter and then thaw out in the spring. And I think anything that can turn into ice and then come back alive is pretty amazing. Also, here's a great example of a chaga. This is a mycelial mass from the fungus that's growing in this birch tree. These pieces of chaga are actually used to store food for the fungus and not actually for reproduction. But this is quite an interesting one, but definitely chaga. So here's what a piece of chaga looks like. It's dark, kind of rough on the outside. You might see some pieces of birch bark tucked in there in different places. And then on the inside, it's this incredible golden mycelial mass. And this makes a very healthy tea because it has more antioxidants, a higher concentration of antioxidants than any other food known to exist. So it's really good to know about, great for situations where the immune system needs help. Wow, what a view. So the next step here is to see if my kayak is still tied up. Well, I guess it's there, so even if it's not tied up. Whoa, I should be good to go. The tide still needs to come in a little more before it's fully at high tide, which is good, because I want to take the incoming tide and head up that way as the tide rises and then come back out with it when it starts to head back out again. So I just gotta get this kayak down to the water and I'll be on the water again. I've gone all the way up South Bay, and I think I hear some water, so I'm going to see if I can get some fresh water and put it in my bottle. So I just got back from kayaking to some of these islands, and feeling a little tired for the day, and it's starting to get dark, so I'm gonna go back up to my campsite. So nice to see that my campsite is just how I left it, waiting for me to return. Good morning on the third and final day of this camping trip. Down here behind me on the embankment, I noticed a lot of shells, old shells of a whole variety. And what it is it's an old shell midden. And this is where people, humans, have piled shells after eating the contents for a long time. And I've seen some evidence of an old cabin on this island. So it could have been people more recently, or it could have been people from a long time ago. And today people can go through these shell middens and learn a lot about the past. But they're sort of time capsules, and the longer that we leave them in place, the better. So it's really neat to find one out here, but I'm going to leave it as it is. Alright, now after getting everything organized, I'm really ready to go with everything back in the kayak.